Hello, good day everyone. So this video lesson is all about the central limit theorem. So what is the central limit theorem? Okay, so this theorem states that the sampling distribution of the mean approaches a normal distribution as the sample size increases. Okay, so this is useful, okay, when analyzing large data, okay, because it allows one to assume that the sampling distribution of the mean will be normally distributed, okay, or distributed in most cases. So, ginagamit natin yung central limit theorem na ito kapag meron tayong hindi normal na distribution. Okay? Ano itong sinasabi kong hindi normal or not normally distributed na data set natin? For example, okay, sa isang school, okay, or sa isang population, for example, okay, um, students took their examination. Okay, so that examination, okay, that examination contains a very, very hard question. Okay? So, ang mangyari doon, of course, uh, malaki yung possibility na marami ang makakakuha ng mabababang scores, okay? Unlike doon sa, of course, yung makakakuha ng above average or average. Okay? Kasi ano bang itsura ng ating normal distribution? 'Di ba our normal distribution looks like this? Yung normal curve natin, ganyan yung itsura niya, perfect bell shape. Okay? Ano ang itsura naman nung sinasabi ko na not normally distributed? Para siyang ganito. Parang pag ganyan, marami dyan, tapos biglang pag ganito siya. Okay? Ibig sabihin, sa exam, andito yung mga nakakuha ng mabababa, tapos kukonti lang yung nakakuha um, ng mataas or um, average. Okay? Average score. Okay. So, dito, okay, may tinatawag tayong population tsaka yung sample. Okay, o yung nabanggit ko kanina. Population, it is the whole group you are studying. Like for example, yon kanina. So, population, yung all students in your school. Okay, so lahat ng estudyante sa school na yon kung saan ka or saan mo kinokonduct yung study mo. Okay? Tapos, meron tayong tinatawag natin na sample. Yung sample naman, it is a smaller group taken from the population. Okay? So, yung sample, for example, 30 students chosen randomly from that school. Okay? You are studying. So, yung gamit ng central limit theorem dito, kasi nga ang goal natin ay maging normally distributed yung ating, ito, yung mismong distribution natin. Okay? Yung ating sampling distribution. So, ang gagawin natin, sabi dito sa central limit theorem, yung sa population daw natin, okay, for example, meron tayong 2,000, for example lang, meron tayong 2,000 total na respondents or students in that particular area kung saan nyo kinakonduct yung study ninyo. Okay? At ang nangyari, yun nga, dahil napakahirap ng questions, napakahirap ng exam, marami ang nakakuha ng mabababang score. And then, only few, okay, or walang 5%, even, yon, walang 2% yung nakakuha ng mataas na score. So, ang gagawin natin dyan para maging normally distribution from this, okay, from this one, magiging ganito siya. Ang gagawin natin, sabi ng central limit theorem, okay, magra-random sampling tayo. Ibig sabihin, yung 2,000 na yan, parang hahati-hatiin natin siya. Okay? Like for example, halimbawa, tig 50. Okay? So, 2,000. Tapos hati-hatiin mo siya, 50, 50 random student, 50 random student from this, 50 random student from that. Okay? So, yung 50 na yan, okay, yung 50 na yan, kukunin mo yung mean nila. Tapos yun yung magre-represent sa 50 na yon. Okay? So, um, ang mangyayari dyan, kapag graph natin yan, kukunin natin yung mga mean nila, magiging likely normally distributed sila. Okay? So, ayun siya. Okay? Next. Ayan. So, meron tayong three rules sa central limit theorem. So, una, the data should be sampled randomly. So, pag sinabing sampled randomly, walang bias. Okay? Pwede siyang siguro bubunutin, like that, ganyan. Okay? So, dapat hindi mo alam kung sino yung mga i-group mo. Okay? So, sampled randomly. Kaya nga in random. Okay? Next, the samples should be independent of each other. Okay? Independent. So, hindi dapat siya nagde-depend doon sa isa. Okay? So, the sample size should be sufficiently large but not exceed 10% of the population. Okay? So, sabi dyan, sufficiently large. Okay? Kasi may sinasabi tayo na the more sample size, mamaya makikita ninyo, ipapakita ko kung ano tong sinasabi kong sufficiently large. Okay? So, the sample size should be sufficiently large pero hindi dapat siya naman nag-i-exceed ng 10% population. Okay? For example, meron kayong 100 population, hindi pwede na 10 naman. Okay, pwedeng 5 siguro, 5, 5, 5, okay, ganon. So, hindi siya pwedeng lumagpas ng 10%. So, ito na yung ano natin. So, standard error of the mean or actually tinatawag din natin itong standard deviation. Okay? Standard deviation of the sample mean or of the mean. Okay? Standard deviation. So, this measures the degree of accuracy of the sample mean, okay, as an estimate of the population mean. So, it is also known as the standard deviation of the sampling distribution of the sampling mean. Okay? So, that is denoted by this symbol. Okay? So, yan yung tatandaan niyo. Pag standard error or standard deviation of the sample mean, ayan yung inyong gagamitin. Okay? So, take note of those symbols also na we are using. So, here's the formula, how to find the standard error. Okay? So, the standard error is equal to the population mean over the square root of the sample size. Okay? So, tatandaan natin yung formula natin na yan. Okay? So, let's try this one. Okay? So, determine the standard error of the mean for each of the following sample size and given the population standard deviation of 30. So, round off your answer to the nearest hundreds. So, in here, we have five class size. We have 5, 12, 28, 35, and 40. Okay, so let's get each um, standard error, okay, by using the formula. So, ano na ulit yung formula natin? Gagamitin lang natin yung, isulat ko lang dito sa taas. So, the standard error of the sample mean is equal to the population standard deviation over the square root of the class size. So, yan yung gagamitin natin. So, isa-substitute lang ninyo. Okay? So, yung if n is equal to 5 natin, for example, mag-example lang ako dito. So, yung population standard deviation given is 30 over yung n natin ay 5. So, is square root of 5. So, i-direct nyo lang sa calculator yan. At ang lalabas, okay, kapag kinalculator nyo yan or manually, ang lalabas dyan ay, so, the standard error is equal to 13.42. Okay, so yan yung lalabas dyan. Kapag yung n naman, okay, you try to calculate that, okay, yung n naman is 12, okay, ang lalabas na standard error natin dyan ay 8.66. Okay, next, kapag n naman yung, is 28, ang lalabas dyan ay 5.67. Again, paano ko nakukuha yan? I am just using this formula. Okay? So, you check na lang there. Okay, you compute in your calculator. Next, if n is 35, that would be 5.07. And lastly, if n is 40, that is equal to 4.74. Okay? Now, here's the question. What can you observe about the class size and the standard error? Okay? So, what is their relationship? Okay? So, their relationship, as you can see, they are inversely related. O, parang inverse proportion, di ba? We have this direct and inverse proportion. Pag direct, pag tumaas yung isa, tataas din yung isa. Pag inverse, pag tumaas yung isa, bababa yung isa. So, as you can see, tingnan nyo yung class size natin. From 5, okay, napunta siya sa, or naging, from 5, yung pinakalas niya 40, di ba? Pataas siya. Pero as you can see dun sa standard error natin, yan, 13.42 yan, tapos bumaba. Okay? So, baliktad siya. So, ibig sabihin lang, makukonclude lang natin na as the class size increases, the error will decrease. Nakuha ninyo? So, dito sa sinasabi nating standard error, okay, kaya meron tayong mga tinatawag dito ng mga margin of error, mga ganyan sa research, okay? Tandaan ninyo na ang the more na yung ating error ay mababa, the more na mas magiging palang valid yung ating study. Okay? The more na mababa. So, ang gagawin natin, kapag medyo mataas pa yung error, mag-try tayo ng sample size. Okay? O, like, for example, yung sa population ninyo, for example, 39 ninyo, 100 each, yung class size ninyo, pero parang medyo mataas pa yung error, pwede nyo siyang dagdagan pa. For example, 150 each. Ganyan. Okay? Basta hindi siya mag-exceed ng 10% doon sa total population. Okay? Next, okay, so we have here another formula. So, para saan naman ito? Okay, so let me just read first. Central limit theorem is important because yun nga, it teaches researchers to use a limited sample to make intelligent and accurate conclusions about a greater population. So, it justifies the use of normal curve methods for a wide range of problems. Okay, so yung formula natin for that, okay, so Z is equal to, okay, the sample mean minus the population mean all over the population standard deviation over the square root of n. Okay, when we use this formula when we are computing for the probability, okay, that the sample mean will take a value within a given range, okay, in the sampling distribution. So, para mas maintindihan, let's have an example. So let's try this one. The entrance exam scores of a certain university has a mean of 74 and a standard deviation of 6.8. So the exam scores follow a normal distribution. So in here, we have to answer two. Okay, the A and B. So A, first, ito muna. If a sample of 50 students is selected at random, what is the probability that the mean score is greater than 75? Okay, tas yung B, basahin ko lang, find the 80th percentile for the mean exam score of the 50 students. Okay, so first, let us, of course, analyze the given. Okay, so what are the given in here? So we have there the population mean. So ilagay lang muna natin yung mga given dito para mas madali nating makompute. So yung population mean natin, 74. Yung population standard deviation natin, 68. Then the class size or the sample size, we have there 50. And then yung sample mean natin, kasi nga tinatanong dyan, greater than 75. So ibig sabihin, yan yung ating sample mean. So 75. So those are our given. Okay? Next, alalahanin natin yung ating formula in finding the, kasi ang tinatanong, what is the probability? Okay, so ang formula natin dyan, Z is equal to the sample mean minus the population mean over the population standard deviation over square root of n. And then, you just substitute. So, pag sinubstitute natin yan, anong sample mean natin? 75. Minus, population mean is 74. Over, the population standard deviation is, this is 6.8 pala. Nakalimutan ko yung tuldok. Ayan. So, we have 6.8. Okay, ayan siya, 6.8. So, we have 6.8 over the square root of n, which is 50. So, pag kinalculate natin yan, ang makukuha natin ay 1.04. After that, okay, after you use that one, since we are, we are asked what is the probability, so we are going to use the Z table. Okay, pag tinatanong tayo, always remember, pag probability ang tinatanong, we will use the Z table. So, we will just find. So, 1.04 daw. So, nasan yung 1.0 natin? Nanditong tapat. And then, yung 0.04 natin. So, 1, tapos saan sila mag-meet? Ayan. So, saan kaya sila mag-meet? Nasa 0.3508 tayo. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung equivalent area nitong 1.04 ay, lalagay ko lang dito, yung area niya ay 0.3508. Pero, hindi pa dyan natatapos. Okay? Ang tinatanong kasi ay yung mean score na makakakuha daw tayo ng greater than 75. So, greater than 75. Okay? So, let's draw muna. Let's visualize the graph. Okay? So, let's visualize the graph. Ganyan siya. So, meron tayong, ayan. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. Tapos, dahil alam nyo, dito sa gitna, yan yung gitna natin. At saka, igagraph natin, nasaan yung 1.04 banda? Nandito, right? So, andyan siya. Ibig sabihin, yung sukat mula dito sa gitna, ito, yung pinakahati niya, at saka hanggang dito sa 1.04 estimate natin, ang area niyan ay 3 wait lang, palitan ko ng color yung pen. Ang area nito ay 0.3508. So, ito, ang area niyan ay 0.3508. Pero kasi, ang hinahanap natin, ang tanong ay greater than 75. Okay, yung mean score daw ay greater than 75. Ibig sabihin, pag greater than, pag narinig niyo yung greater than, to the right. Okay, to the right of that Z value na given. So, since ito yung Z value natin, to the right niya, so ito. So, ito yung hahanapin natin ng sukat. Okay? So, paano ngayon yan? Ang given yung nandito. Alam natin na yung half nito, yung kabuuan niya, or yung half nito, ang sukat niya ay 0.5. Okay? So, doon na papasok yung mga previous discussions natin. Okay? About the area and probabilities. 'Di ba? So, ang tanong dito, probability daw na yung Z natin ay greater than 75. Okay? So, ang mangyayari dyan, ima-minus nyo siya kasi ito yung hinahanap natin, itong part na to. Ima-minus nyo siya sa 0.5. So, magiging, wait lang, hindi na kasya. So, let's just repeat. So, the probability of Z is greater than 75. So, ima-minus nyo siya. 0.5 minus 0.3508. So, ang lalabas dyan, approximately, we have 0.1492. Or, dahil probability ang hinahanap natin, let's convert it into percentage. So, the probability that the Z or the mean score is greater than 75 is around 14.92%. So, that will be our answer for letter A na. Okay, so this one, 14.92%. Okay, let's have the letter B. Sagutan naman natin yung letter B. Find the 80th percentile for the mean exam score of the 50 students. So, dito naman, percentile ang tinatanong. Okay? Ano ang kaibahan nito? Bakit may dalawa-dalawang table dyan, ma'am? Okay? Ano ang kaibahan niyan doon sa isa? So, yung isa kanina na table natin na pinakita ko sa previous slide, that is the Z table. Okay? Pag probability yung tinatanong, yun yung gagamitin natin. Pero when we are talking about percentile, yung Z-score table natin ang gagawin. Okay, gagamitin. So, pag may nabasa kayo na greater than, ang gagamitin ninyo ay yung right. Okay? Or yung may, kasi negative and positive ito, yung positive. Pag greater than yung positive, pag less than yung negative. Okay? So, ganun lang yon. Again, magkaiba ito. Kahit tingnan nyo yung content niya, magkaiba siya. Magkaiba sila ng laman. Okay? Z-table at saka Z-score table. Magkaiba. Okay? So, sagutan natin yung letter B. Again, find the 80th percentile. So, dito, same lang siya. Same given. Okay? So, isulat ulit natin yung mga given natin. So, we have there the population mean, which is 74. Okay? The population standard deviation, which is 6.8. The, the sample size, which is 50, and the sample mean which is 75. Tapos, dumagdag lang dito yung 80th percentile. Okay? So, yung 80th percentile natin, okay, 80th percentile. Ang gagawin natin dyan, kasi ang formula natin, okay, so another formula ha, ang formula natin in finding the percentile ay yung sample mean is equal to the population mean plus the z times the standard error. Okay? Standard error of the sample mean. Okay? So, as you can see, may z dyan. Kaso, hindi natin makukuha yung, walang given na z. Tama ba? So, dyan papasok yung sa 80th percentile. So, yung 80th percentile na yan, ang gagawin nyo, i-convert nyo siya into decimal. So, magiging 0.8. Okay? Or 0.800. Kasi since 4 digit yung ating mga decimal dito. 4 decimal places. Okay? So, ang gagawin nyo dyan, para mahanap nyo yung z equivalence niya, okay, yung z value niya, titingin kayo ng pinakamalapit, okay, doon sa 0.8 thousand natin dyan. So, dito, ang pinakamalapit natin ay yung 0.7995. Okay? Nandito siya. So anyway, by the way, this is the positive ha, positive z-score table. Okay? So nasa na yung 7, wait lang, ito siya. Siya yung pinakamalapit. Wala tayong eksakto na 0.8 thousand dito. So kukunin natin yung pinakamalapit na hindi lalagpas doon sa given natin. So hindi siya pwedeng yung katabi na 0.8023, hindi pwede. So dapat yung below or hindi lalagpas doon sa given natin. So ito ang magiging z value na natin dito. Okay? So yung z value na natin dito ay yung equivalent niyan is yung 0. Wait lang. Yung ilalagay natin, okay? Yung ilalagay natin, nahahanapin natin ng z value ay yung 0.7995. Tapos after nyan, hahanapin natin yung z value niya. Okay? Yung z value niya, tingin lang kayo dito, yung katapat niya, tapos tingin kayo dyan. Kasi dyan sila nag-meet. So, magiging, yung z natin ay 0.84. So, meron na tayong z. Ready na to substitute sa formula natin. So, pag sinubstitute natin siya, population mean natin, para mahanap natin tong percentile, okay, ito yung pinaka-sign ng percentile natin, okay? So, we have the population mean, 74, plus the z is 0.84 times standard error of. Since wala dyan yung mismong standard error, paano kinukuha ang standard error? Balikan natin, we have the population standard deviation over the square root of n. So, magiging, we have there 6.8 over square root of 50. Okay? So, pag kinompute ninyo yan, approximately, we will get 74.81. So, the 80th percentile for the mean exam score of the 50 student is 74.81. Okay? Okay, let's have this next example. So, assume that the variable is normally distributed. So, the average time it takes a group of senior high school students to complete a certain examination is 46.2 minutes, while the standard deviation is 8 minutes. So, if 50 randomly selected senior high school students take the examination, what is the probability that the mean time it takes the group to complete the test will be less than 43 minutes. Okay, so in here, we are again asked about or what is the probability. Okay, so we're going to use our formula, okay, to find the z-score. Okay, but first, let us first identify the given. Okay, so we have here the population mean, which is 46.2. Okay, 46.2 minutes. Next, we have the population standard deviation, which is 8 minutes. Then we have the sample mean of, ayan, sabi dyan, less than 43 minutes. So, yung 43 yung ilalagay natin. So, 43. And then, we have here the sample size, which is 50 students. So, 50. Okay? So, next, we're going to write the formula na. So, Z for the z-score. So, Z is equal to the sample mean minus the population mean over the population standard deviation over the square root of n. So, we're just going to substitute. So, we have 43 minus 46.2 over, we have 8 over square root of 50. So, if you're going to compute that, our Z is negative 2.83. Okay? So, 2.83. So, dito, dahil z-table nga siya, negative man or positive, pareho lang yan. So, we will look for the z-score, okay, or the area of our z-score, which is 2.83 or negative 2.83. So, we're going to look for 2.8 dito. Ayan siya, nandito. Then, yung 0.03. So, kung saan sila nag-meet, ayun yung ating area. So, nag-meet sila sa 0. So, our area here, our area is 0.4977. Okay? So, meron na tayong z value or meron na tayong area. So, let's visualize the graph. Okay? So, ito yung normal, normal curve natin. So, again, i-visualize lang natin siya. Okay, ayan. And then, ano yung ating z-score? We have 2 or negative 2.83. So, nandito siya banda. So, ito yung center, yung middle natin. Tapos, nandito yung 2.83. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, yung area nito, ito, tapos hanggang dito ay, ang sukat niya, 0.4977. Pero, titingnan natin kung ano yung tanong. Sabi niya, less than, nakita nyo, less than 43 minutes. Pag sabi ko kanina, greater than, to the right. So, pag less than, to the left. So, to the left nung z-score natin. So, ito yung kukunin natin. So, since ang given ay ito, yung sukat nito, kailangan natin siyang isubtract again sa 0.5. So, the probability, okay, na yung sample mean natin ay makakuha tayo ng less than 43. Okay? So, that is 0.5 minus 0.4977 para makuha natin yung sukat nito, itong maliit na to. So, ang lalabas dito, we have 0.0023, okay? Or if you're going to convert that into percentage, okay, that is 0.23%. Okay, that is 0.23%. So, yun na yung ating probability. Okay, so 0.23%. So, that's it, okay, for this video lesson. Hope naintindihan. Yun lang. Thank you.